Hello, good morning, everybody, and to everybody, good morning. And I don't know what that was about, but yay, yay! Rat Madness wants to know this is going to be a secret project. Always with the secret projects. Cheers, coffee, slurp time. Yay! It's a big rocket. If I recall, last discussion was about where batteries could fit. Wow. Yes. What a fantastic memory, Greg. Fantastic memory. Yes. Yeah, I actually solved that a long time ago. I solved it after the stream in 2018, but just didn't do anything with it. And yeah, crazy, huh? Hey, James. Yeah, you made the start of the stream for once. Are we allowed to ask pick and place questions? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've actually got news. I've got big news. Big news. Bigger than last week's news. So Bruce has a large amp that he can adjust. How large? 1 amp? 2 amps? 3 amps? Sorry. That was bad electronics jokes. Bad. So, has everyone had a good week? I hope everyone's had a good week. What's your plan with the old Charm High unit when you get your new one? Going to wheel it out. I'll get onto that in a moment. My plan right now is to move it out of my office and to, I don't know. Yeah. I'll do roll call. I'll say hi to everyone first, and then I'll update everyone with the news. Hello, Flynn. Update everyone with the news, and then I will, talk about that. But coffee. Definitely need coffee. Tastes a bit funny this morning. I think the milk's not good. Not off, but it's not good. Is it really quiet? Hello, Julian. Is it really quiet? Quiet where? Here? I don't know. Is it? Yeah? You talking about in my office quiet? Or just in general? Oh, is the sound quiet? How's that? Is that any better? I have updated OBS. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay. So last week I moved to a new version of OBS, but I did not say anything. I wanted to see how it went. Input. How is that? Is that better? I doubt I'm getting quieter. Better? Okay. Okay, sorry about that, folks. That actually wasn't OBS. For some reason, my microphone was turned down on my Mac. Since we're fixing sound, some self-advertisement from Mr. Dave Darko. I'm trying to click on it, but I can't because it's a moving window. What's this from Dave Darko? Let's have a look at what this is from Dave Darko, and then we'll do roll call. Oh, that's your thing tunnel thingy. Excuse me. Yes. Okay. Wow, that's really cool. What's it called? The Jeffries tube. That's right. Dave's building a Jeffries tube. Oh, wow, look at that. Wow. Did everyone see that? Have a look at that. That is very cool. Very nice, Dave. Very nice. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, so let's do roll call. Let's get this out of the way. I'm just going to scroll back up as far as I can. So, good morning, Andy Mouse. Hello, Rat Madness. John Meeking. Sven. Paul. Henrik, hello. Mark's working, so no one bother Mark. Didier, Paul, Conadem, Absidy, hello Flynn again, but already said hi. Hey Julian, Azzy, Flowrider, Colin, Gustus, Digicool Things, which is also known as Greg, but I much prefer Digicool Things. I think you should change your name at Dpol to officially be Digicool Things. Paul, Nick Tucker, Dave Darko, Rota, Bruce, James, Christopher White, hello, Simon, Teftsy. Hope I got that right. Sorry if I didn't. Mr. Tada, hello, Dave Hines, hi, Exotic Geeks, Rob E. Hey Roger, another Paul. So many Pauls. That's cool. Still scrolling, sorry. Lots of people telling me the sound was bad, then the sound was better. Excellent. Hello Mello, hello. Oh, it jumped. Where was I? Stephen Mott, hi. If I missed anyone, sorry, it's scrolling really fast. Christian, hello. Helmet, good morning. David, Boyd, Faulknology, hi. Johnny got his whopper, yay. Change your name by deed. Is that what it's called in New Zealand? Here it's you do it at Dpol. Well, that's what it used to be called. I don't know. Okay, I think I got everyone. I think. If I didn't, I apologise. So, the news. Big news. Big news. Low concurrent viewers. Not too many folks interested in rockets, clearly. Hello, Ian. Oh, Emma and Polly. Sorry. Hi, Emma. Hi, Polly. I'm sorry. Yeah, it jumped like it normally does. And my Mac sounds like it's going to take off. Oh, surprise, surprise. Dropbox is making a lot of noise again. AKA Soggy Buns. Hi. Brian Webb. Hello. And Chaz666. Can everyone hear... Julian not interested in rockets. Sorry. Can everyone hear my machine? The fans, out of curiosity? No? Yes? You can hear them? Damn, sorry. Yeah, it's a taking off episode, this is. And Colin Elson says... Ozpro's finally found some planes to take off. Yeah, flights are really hard out of Australia at the moment. Really, really hard. Okay, just Yumbo Prime. Hi. Okay, so the news is. So last week I told everyone I bought the N8, and it was 5 weeks for them to make it, and that was after they came back from holidays, which was they came back this week, so they're on holidays last week, and then so it was 5 weeks to make it, and then some days to test it, and then 2 to 3 weeks to ship it to Sydney. Then they were going to test it, which is fine, for a couple of days, and then ship it to me in Melbourne. I found out, excuse me, on Monday that Neoden are not making me wait 5 weeks for a pick and place machine. They've allotted me someone else's machine, don't know whose, and it's shipping this week. So that is 5 weeks gone from the timeline, which is really exciting and terrifying. So instead of 9 weeks until N8, it's 3 or 4 weeks till N8. But it means that my whole renovation timeline has just gone out the window. I'm pretty sure it's not me that's taken your order, Absidy. I don't think it would have been your order. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, I've now. So I spent the weekend. I didn't even know this till Monday. I spent the weekend with Yaz starting to renovate the garage. I've got many weeks of renovation still to do, so I don't know how I'm going to squeeze all this in now into 4 weeks. it's going to be a real challenge, but I'll get it done. I'll get it done. It just means that I'm going to have to spend more time renovating and less time doing other stuff. But that's pretty, yeah, that's really exciting. So I'll be where I was expecting to not be using the N8 until maybe December. I'm now looking at, sometime hopefully earlier or mid-November. So it's pretty exciting. I might not look excited because I'm tired and a little bit stressed and feeling overwhelmed, but yeah, no procrastinating, no. So and I also finally, I know this not going to make any difference to anyone or mean anything to anyone. I finally got my Power Pass, temporary pass for Bunnings, my trade. So that means I can go to the hardware store now because we're in lockdown. So you can't go to the hardware store unless you've got a trade card, unless you're in a trade. So I got a trade card and I can now, that's my temporary card. I can now go to the Bunnings store, which means I can go and buy all the stuff I need to continue my renovations. So, yeah, that's really exciting. So what am I doing with the charm height? Well, so a mate of mine, Alan, we worked out how we can put the charm height on wheels. So we're going to put it on wheels. Not a trading card, a trade card, Azzy. We're going to put it on wheels so we can wheel it out. I'm going to cut out a section of my wall, which I've been threatening for a really long time. And but we've worked out how we can do it where I don't have to replace the door. And I'm going to build a ramp and we're going to wheel it out and I'm going to store it temporarily in my driveway. So what am I going to do with it? Well, I've had a few people offer to take it off my hands, which isn't really something I'm looking at doing. Right now I'm not looking at giving it away. It's a usable machine. It's just not good enough for me for production, clearly. I mean, I'm doing production on it now. It's a usable machine. It's just, it's not really good enough to do 0402 and super fine pitch. But it's good enough to do other stuff. So, yeah, we'll take it off your hands for nothing thing isn't something I'm considering right now. I've had a few people ask. Please no one else ask, because I feel bad saying no. I feel bad explaining to people why, the answer's no. Once the garage is renovated and I've got the new production line in, I'll see how much space is left in there, and if there's any room for it, I'll put it in there and I'll set it up. And maybe I'll use it for larger form factor things. I don't know. Can Emma have it? Yeah, it's probably going to cost you about $3,000 to ship it to Emma, and it doesn't make good cookies, no. Coming soon, unexpected maker, and how ridiculous collab, drop it from a big height. No, I'm not looking at destroying it right now. Look, I was talking about turning it into a CNC. The truth is, I can buy, so I don't know if those of you have seen the new, I can't even pronounce it. What is it? The Shapeco? What are they called? From Carbide 3D. Hang on. Let's. I can never. Shapeoko is the name of it. Right. So they're releasing a new Shapeoko, and let me just show you, because I would love a CNC. I would definitely love a CNC. Where's their blog post? This is their current Shapeoko, but they've got a Shapeoko Pro coming. Now, the thing is, the Shapeoko Pro is going to be like under $2,000 US for a really pretty good CNC for like the type of work I want. And for me to convert the charm high, it's going to cost more than that. And it's going to take a stack of time, which I just don't have, right? So the whole idea of turning this into a CNC is it's a bit of a pipe dream, because it'll never happen. Even if it gets started, it'll never get finished, and it will cost me way more than just going to buy one. So it's a router. Okay, see, that's interesting. It's not. It's a CNC. It's a computer-controlled device, right? The term CNC gets misused, right? It's a router. It's not a 5-axis cutting machine, right? But it is still computer controlled, which is what the CNC. Yeah, it's a CNC router. It's a router, but that's all I need it for. I want to be able to route metal. I've got some things I would like to do an experiment with and try. And I need a router for it. And I need I can't use a little one, or one of those ones from Banggood or whatever, or something like what BitLooney was showing on his channel. I need something that can cut. It doesn't have to be super thick, but they can cut, 150 by 150 or 200 by 200, which is what this can do. So anyway, the cost of these are too cheap to try to build a CNC. But do I need a CNC? No, I don't need a CNC, just like I don't need a laser cutter. Look, I'd rather get a fiber laser. You guys were talking about it the other day. I'd rather get a fiber laser, personally. But, that's going to cost me $20,000, and I don't have, for experimenting, I don't need a fiber laser. What is a good cheap desktop pick and place machine? Not very high speed, about 32 feeders. Well, you can't get 32 feeders for a desktop pick and place machine. You're talking about a lot less, Shaq, and it's not about speed, it's about accuracy. Depends what you want to build on it. And when it comes to desktop pick and place machines, there's not a lot of options out there. And are you doing prototyping or production? If you're doing production, you don't want a desktop pick and place machine. I don't think I can put the Charm High into space. It's 220 kilograms or something. So, yeah, so right now my plan is to keep the Charm High. I mean, if someone wants to offer me something for it, that's different. But offering to just take it off my hands, that's not offering me something. Like, I can dispose of it myself. I don't need someone to dispose of it for me. An extra $220,000 for fire insurance. Yeah, someone else suggested that to me. Lightning insurance. Anyway, Shape Yoko. I can never say that. Anyway, how much sex will someone offer? Yeah, I don't know. Low speed production. There's no such thing as low speed production. If you want production, you're talking about accuracy. Speed's irrelevant, Shaq. You need accuracy. Repeatability and accuracy. There is not much in there. Probably a Neoden 4 is probably your entry level for something that's 100% reliable and accurate. You're not going to get something off a Chinese desktop machine. Sorry. Now, from my experience, Shape Oko. Yeah, but isn't it an E in the middle? Isn't it Shape Pyoko? Or is it just Shape Oko? Okay, I don't know. Oh, Johnny started. Thanks, Johnny. A boat anchor would be a good... Yeah, but I'm not close enough to the ocean. I mean, I'm close-ish. Like, I'm only 20 minutes away from the ocean. But, just Shape Oko. Okay, thanks, Reed. Hi, Reed. Hey, JTax. Hi, anyone I haven't said hi to. Shape Oko. Well, there you go. I don't own one. I don't know. I didn't know. So that's my big news. That's really exciting. I'm going to have and I've ordered the conveyor that goes between the pick and place and the oven. I was going to wait on the conveyor and manually move the boards because I have a trust issue. I have a pick and place trust issue right now, and I don't trust the N8's going to be able to just build it and reflow it. But that's me. I'll get over it. Anyway, I ordered the conveyor, and I'm going to possibly order a conveyor for the front of the pick and place machine so I can just whack boards into the conveyor and let them all just go through and automate as much as possible. My plan is to eventually automate as much as possible, except the stencil printing is never going to happen. Even if I got a semi-automatic stencil printer, which are quite expensive, they're about $7,000 or $8,000, and it's only semi-automatic. The automatic part is the stenciling with the squeegee. The semi part is that you have to still load the board in and align the board manually each time, and then but what you get is a perfectly same consistent paste every time, right? Which is very important. That's more important than automating the other part of it. But it's not conveyor based or anything else. So to get a proper stenciling machine that feeds boards in and actually loads them in and stencils them and sends them off, yeah, they're like $45,000. So that's never going to happen. Isn't what the fiducials are for. Not for the stenciling. Not for stencils. Can you laser cut stencils? No, not fine pitch stuff. Again, I'd need a fiber laser to be able to cut it out of metal. You can't use Mylar for fine pitch. You definitely can't use it, multiple times. Like they disintegrate pretty quickly. Is it better to have multiple cheap desktop pick and place than a single high-speed, very accurate P&P? Redundancy in mind. The problem with cheap desktop pick and place machines is they fail. You get feeding issues and all sorts of stuff, and you have to manually load them and move them between boards, between machines, and you've got alignment issues between them. And the cheap desktop pick and place machines don't automatically calibrate off the fiducials, so you're manually recalibrating every board on every step, and if you calibrate it wrong, you're doing it physically manually calibrating it by eye, and if you do it wrong, then your parts are out of alignment. Cheap, good, reliable. Choose up to 1. Not 2, 1. Would it be hard to do anything with it under lockdown? Can't even go to Bunnings. Well, I can go to Bunnings now because I got my trade pass, my Power Pass card. But yeah, look, I don't know what's going to happen with the Charm High. I don't know yet. I'm not giving it away. Yeah, you can get cheap ones from China. I mean, cheap laser fiber laser is 20 grand. That's a cheap one. Tradie Sion, yes. I need to get my work boots. Okay. I was gonna. Okay, so here's the thing. I didn't make a video of the renovations. I'm not going to. Sorry, because Yaz has been awesome. She's been like in the thick of it with me renovating. Like, so yeah. There was no videoing because Yaz was helping me. So, which is fair enough. I did take photos. I've got photos of the Unicism photos of the renovation. I'll show you some photos if I can find them, and then we'll get on to rocket science. Yaz is awesome. She is. Yaz is amazing. I think yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to. Do I have any befores?
Okay.
No, not really. Okay, so let me just move this over here. So it's kind of a bit hard to. This is just one wall in the garage. So the problem I've got in my garage is that it's all brick wall on one side, and the issue isn't so much the brick wall, except there's no insulation. It's really cold. Now let me just switch to that one. Get the thing out of the way. So part of it is keeping the garage clean. Has to be super clean, and part of it is keeping it, not boiling hot in summer and freezing cold in winter, because I'm going to be spending a lot of time working in there, so I need to be able to temperature control it. And I can't, there's no point putting an air conditioning, heating, reverse cycle system in here if it's not insulated. So, Australian cold, okay, not real cold. There's another brick in the wall. Anyway, so I had to frame up, so there's these pylons everywhere, so I had to frame up the different sections, and then started insulating, and now these sections here are for a custom shelving system that I've designed, which I need to continue working on now that I can get my tradie card. So that's from another angle. That's my server rack covered up. That's further out, so you can see. So that's with the shelves still, and then I took the other shelves out. So that's the length of the wall. Now the ceiling is just this silver insulation stuff, and it doesn't go around everywhere properly, and that's why all the shit comes into the garage, and that's why it's filthy in the garage all the time, especially on a windy day. So the first step is to get the walls done, right? Which you can see from different angles. Ta-da! and I haven't finished cutting out those sections yet. So the first was to get this wall done. I'm not plastering it. It doesn't have to look nice. There's just MDF on the walls. I'll put skirtings on the bottom. Yaz wants to maybe paint it. It needs more screws to line it up a bit, but it looks good enough. No, it's not rocket surgery. It's pretty basic building. That's the first step. Then this week I need to build a suspended ceiling underneath the current ceiling. Paint it pink. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking of painting it a feature wall, but might just paint it white because we need a lot of light in there. So I'm going to do a suspended ceiling, and I'm going to put insulation in that as well. The electrician's coming around today to have a look at what needs to be done, because I need power points put along the wall on that side and new lighting put in the roof. And my machine is taking off again. Dropbox. Oh, really frustrating. I don't know why Dropbox has to sit here doing crazy things on my stream. Big logo on it. Well, let's moisture barrier built in, otherwise water can condensate in the insulation. I haven't put a water barrier in. I don't know, I mean, there's never been a moisture problem in here, in the garage. Just been a dirt problem. It's not too late. I can unscrew the MDF. It's fine. Look, we'll see how we go. Even if there's a moisture issue, it's going to take many, many years, right, for it to be a problem. This is a dirt barrier. This is exactly what I'm trying to do, is stop the outside dirt and crap from coming in. Take over the channel then. What? What am I doing? Who? What? Where to hide the spiders? So can I tell you, there was a lot of spiders. Whoop, sorry, wrong screen. Try this one. I was clicked on the wrong thing. So this shelf here, right, was covered with spider webs and spiders. So what I did is Sunday morning I pulled everything off this shelf. It was a pretty big shelf. But before I did, I took out the mortine. I don't know what you call it overseas. You know, the spray for killing spiders and bugs and stuff. And I gave this shelf a full-on spray down. There was no way, even with gloves, there was no way I was going in there without the spraying it all first. Anyway, yes, like Raid. Yeah. Yeah, there was, so we found one whiteback in my hammer drill container. I pulled out my hammer drill, opened it up to take the hammer drill out, and there was a nice whiteback in there. So that was pretty cool. He got squished quickly. Yeah, I don't like spiders at all. Spiders and snakes, don't like them. Okay, anyway, so the renovation is happening. Very exciting. It's underway. Okay, let's talk rockets. Do you have poisonous spiders in Melbourne, like funnel web spiders in Sydney? Yeah, we have the same spiders. Yeah. And not all spiders are poisonous or deadly, so I should say not all spiders are deadly. What noise does a Sion make when a spider crawls out of his sleeve? Oh, yeah, okay. Your memory's too good, Mark. Too good. I don't love snakes. No. UK spiders are quite friendly. Do they say, hello? Would you like me to bite you? Is that what UK spiders do? Is that my worst UK impression ever? Okay, let's talk about rockets. Does everyone remember these? These have been hanging in my office for ages. I've even lost all of the bits to this one, except this last piece. I don't know where they are. They might be behind my shelf. It still stays together. These were before Bruce's time. Okay, so in 2018, I decided I wanted to build an RGB rocket kit that goes on your shelf, like it goes in a kid's room. Boys, girls, doesn't matter. Ollie loves space and science. And the idea was that it would light up. It would be based on a tiny 85 or something at the time. And, well, there are LEDs, but these were my just acrylic ones that I cut. So the idea was that there would be 3 pieces. Pull this one apart. Okay, that there would be, let me just switch cameras. Okay, there would be 3 pieces, and 2 of them, wow, why is that not updating fast? That's better, sorry. 2 of them would be acrylic, and 1 would be a PCB. And the PCB one would be a kit, and you'd assemble the PCB. It would have RGB LEDs on it, it would have Tiny 85, it would have programming connections, whatever, and then you put it all together and plug it in, it would light up, right? Johnny says he promises that's not a Rickroll. Yeah, I don't trust you. You can't be trusted anymore. No, the Charm High's not going to the moon. I don't think I'm capable of building a rocket that can take 210 kilograms, 220 kilograms. I might have to reach out to Joe Barnard and see if he can maybe build a rocket that can make the Charm High go to the moon. So anyway, the issue I had with this was it can't run off coin cells because it needs more power. And so we were stumbling on how to power it, right? And I was originally, so let me just show you something. So this is a, oops, didn't mean to leave that on. So this is a newer design, but originally I was looking at maybe Rocket Lab. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd have to pay to get someone to send it, the Charm High, to the moon, and I really don't want to invest any money in that, to be honest. So originally I was looking at, how I could fit maybe 3 AA batteries or AAA batteries into it with little holders and stuff, but it was pretty ugly. It was it wasn't a great solution. And then someone on the stream ages ago mentioned the CR123s, which is this guy. And so I went out and bought some 2 years ago. And I'm pretty sure they probably are dead now. I don't know how long they last for in the pack. Is there a date on them? Is there a use by? Can't seem to find a use by. Anyway, they've never been opened. So these batteries are 3 volts. They're not cheap batteries, unfortunately, but they're a good sized battery. And so one of the problems with doing the AA's or the AAA's, what John Meeking says, what does John Meeking say? Whopper linked launching. Yeah, I could do a fake Whopper launching. I hate them batteries, had them in a home automation system. They died way too quickly. I guess what they're being bottom left. Bottom left? Is that no, that's 1217. Yeah, I don't think those, oh, maybe. Okay. 2027? Okay, maybe. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, 2027, 1227. Okay, cool. So one of the problems with doing the AA's or AAA's is that the weight of the rocket would have been bad. Would have been possibly too easy to tip over. So what I liked about doing the 1, 2, 3 is that it would be bottom weighted and much easier to build a holder for it. So what I've designed is this. This is the new piece that I designed, which I never laser cut, and I never finished because I got distracted. Surprise, surprise. How about 3 volt 14500 LiPo4 batteries for single AA 3 volt rechargeable? So I said again, a 3 volt. Are the 14500s AA in size, are they? I mean, I don't want to put a charge circuit on this necessarily. I don't know. Look, we'll see. We'll see. Right now, I just want to build. I want to get this finished at least as a a version 1 prototype. So my plan on the stream today is to turn this into a 3D model to kind of show everyone how it's going to work. Because one of the challenges I had, let me just switch over to here, is that having the pieces on the outside that slide in, right, like this, makes it quite hard to put together. This is my original type of design. Makes it hard to put together. It also, and you kind of have to glue them because otherwise they keep falling off. Then once you glue it, you can't change the battery. Okay, so Greg's got a link, and I trust that it won't be a Rickroll. Okay, so Solar Magic, 3.2 volt, 600 milliamp hour. Wow, $11. They were actually more expensive, but okay. I mean, they're reasonably cheap, I guess. But they're rechargeable, which is cool. Okay, I can look at doing that. I can change the design for that. How will you vector the thrust? It's got a full thrust vectoring control system of design. No, not really. Not really. It's not designed to fly. Has to be a good reason. Ludicrous if all your cost. What do you mean, Michael? Sorry, what was that? You're talking about Julian's shed? Or are you talking about my design? A wireless charger. Yeah, no, well, I don't have any place to put a coil for a wireless charger. Okay, let's get back to this. So, read the comments after this product. After which product? The battery? Okay, I'm going to get back to this. So, I can visualize in my head how this is going to work, but I need to build it. I need to laser cut it and make sure it all holds together properly. Because, yeah, I don't want it so this is going to... Okay, I'm going to have to just... In this design, the parts of the rocket slide in rather than have the ring around it. And I'm worried that it won't hold together properly. So I haven't designed a locking mechanism for it yet to hold it. I don't know if I need it or where I'd put it yet. So I want to get this into a stage where I can laser cut it. Now, PCBs, you can get up to 2mm in thickness. My plan was to build this out of 2mm acrylic so I can simulate a 2mm PCB and then do 3mm cross sections. I don't want people to glue it because then you can't pull it apart to change the battery. That's the problem. So I need to see how I can construct this. So let's start off with... it's a bit of a messy project, but whatever. So I want that to be in the center. I'm going to just... What happened there? I did not hit the wrong key. Okay. So I want to start off by just extruding this out 1mm that way, and because I want it to be in the center. So that's a lazy way of doing that. Hey Aaron. By the way, my Fusion 360 skills are not great, so please no one take down notes to learn from this. Okay? Just saying. And that's a rocket slice one, except I can't spell. Okay, so let's just hide that for a moment. Now, these lines are designed to build the cross sections from. So it's a bit of a pain, but the idea is I can build a circle and then I can rotate it. Come on. And these are going to be my cross sections. Maybe look at 3.6 volt AA batteries, something like the SEFT LS. They need to be easily found, easily sourced batteries. Like if it becomes either really expensive to replace the batteries or really hard to find the batteries for these, then I don't see why people would care about getting one if it's a hassle. You know what I mean? It needs a gimbal, and no, it's not designed to fly. Would standard 650 lipos be too big? I'd say so. I think that'd be too big. Now, I could have done all this already and just shown everyone. Yeah, I'm not going to be using capacitors, no. They've got to be safe. This is designed to go in a kid's room on a bookshelf. There'll also be, you'll be able to power it from USB as well. But not everyone's going to have power nearby. And it might just turn out that I only have USB power. I don't know. But I'm not going to know until I actually finally get one of these together. So these are all the cross sections, as I keep saying. And I'll show you why I did the lines like I did in a moment, and why I'm building it this way. Okay, so they're the cross sections for the rocket. And they're designed to be on the shortest side. So these ones on the low side, because that's the shortest point. So that way it doesn't stick out the edge. And these ones are on the high side, so it doesn't stick out the edge, if that makes sense, right? So these need to get extruded down, and these need to get extruded up. And they're 3mm. And this one here is in the middle because that's the shortest edge. Well, I'm going to be using a tiny 85 or a tiny something, so it doesn't. I don't need an LTO anyway because I've got a full voltage range, so that's not a problem. Building in Southampton. Okay. They do rocket buildings. Okay, so I need to, so this needs to be extruded down. -3. Yes, stay on. Can I multi-select and extrude? Actually, I think these two need to go down. No, I can't. Didn't think so. Extrude, -3. Extrude, -3. Now these ones are up, up, up. So 2 ups. This one is up and down. Extrude 1.5. Extrude 1.5. And wait, what just happened? Oh, I did negative. Extrude negative. Hello. Extrude -1.5. Right, that's better. Sorry about that. This one is down and that one is up. Extrude -3 and extrude 3. Hope you start a serial MP3 project with an SD card. I'm waiting for this product impatiently. Well, I'm not sure why you're relying on me for that. Okay, so they're the cross sections. So the idea would be that, we just turn all these off for the moment. I should name them, but that's okay. So we do a pattern, circular pattern. Axis is going to be this, that, and we want 3 of them. Is that 3? Oh wow, look at that. Yay. So turn my sketches off. Okay, so the idea is the rocket will look like this, right? And hopefully I've left enough room so they don't... Oh, I haven't. Right, I'll have to shave them back a bit because they're too close into each other. Am I allowed this type of distraction? Which distraction? Is this a licensed copy of 3C? Yes, it is. As you can see over here, there's my little... I am licensed. Sorry, I'm missing something. If you need, just at me. Remember to at me if you need. Yep. Yeah. 3D Christmas tree. It's going to be a little bit small for a 3D Christmas tree. And so the battery fits in here. Oops. In here. And the idea is, well, let me show you. Okay, so I'm just going to turn these rocket slicers off for the moment. Can I move you down here? Okay, so they're the rocket slicers. Now, this one is for the battery. So the idea is that this ring would sit around the battery. I've lost my train of thought. You wish you... Hey, Graham. Oh, no, my fusion skills are pretty bad. They're pretty basic. Okay, let's take a step back. So, the idea is that... I want to do I've got to remember how to do this. I want to... How do I do a boolean? I don't want to do it's a combine. Can I do a negative combine? Join. I want to cut. So the target body is this one. Just to show you, right? And the tool bodies are that, and that. And I want to keep the tools. Okay, so now I have this shape here. So obviously, right, I was a little bit out on one of my lines. That's okay. So the idea is that this would sit like this, and it would have, let's do that again. My target is this, and my tool is this. So that would be the shape where the battery sits, and the rocket bits slide in to the sides like this, around it. And the battery sits in the middle. So it holds the battery in place. And what I do on the PCB, so one of these is, let me just, hang on, make this easy for now. Hit A for appearance, and I'm going to, plastic, what plastics have I got? Where's my colored plastic? Here we go. So, ooh, FR4 is a plastic, it's not plastic. So if I made, just for argument's sake, if that's the PCB, and I'll make the other bits black for now, okay? Just so we can easily see. The ring isn't necessary. It's necessary in terms of holding the rocket together. It's not so much about holding the battery. Yeah, you'd have to dismantle it to change the battery, which is why it can't be glued together, right? So the idea would be that on the... so that's rocket slice 3 PCB. This one's the PCB. So the idea is that on the PCB version, right, I'd have something here that would have contact for the battery. So it could be something you solder on. Bad idea. So you would have to... Why is it a bad idea? Not wrapping the rocket. So depending on what battery I put in there, if I end up putting a rechargeable battery, sure, then it can just be charged. I'll have a look at those, the batteries that Greg showed later, and that it's easy enough to change this to get a different battery in there, right? But it's going to be the same premise. Either way, it needs to hold it. Now, if I end up doing a rechargeable battery, then the problem is I obviously can't ship batteries with the kits anyway. People are going to have to buy the batteries. They have to buy the right battery. If they put a wrong battery in there and try to charge it, that's going to be a problem, right? So charging battery is not going to be easy. What happens if they put the wrong battery in and they try to charge it and it blows up? So my plan was always to not have charging and to just make it a swappable battery. No, it will be my problem, Julian, because I'm not prepared to sell something that allows people to hurt themselves, especially if it's for kids. Okay? It's not something I'm keen on doing. Like, I could see this running out and, like, in Flynn's room and Flynn going to find a different battery to put it in, right? And Flynn puts a different battery in, it's not the right battery, and it's not working properly, and he plugs the power in, and... Poof. So, yeah, not going to happen. Not going to happen. So, top and bottom of the PCB, there'll be, like, pads on front and back, and I'll ship it with some bit of whatever it is, metal or something. 18650s are not standard for kids and kids' toys and things that go on the shelf. And, yeah, it's, again... Thanks all, but don't try to convince me that putting a chargeable battery that someone has to find themselves is necessarily the right way to go. So it's just not a not something I'm interested in doing right now. This is a shelf product. It's not designed to fly. It's a RGB rocket that sits on the shelf. Okay, so let me just make some more pieces. What Helmet said. What did Helmet say? Why not slide the battery in from the rear V of the two black panels? So slide it in from the rear V. How do I slide it in? Sorry. It's got to hold the battery in place. How do I slide the battery in and have it enclosed on the bottom? Does this look like it's designed to fly? Seriously, folks? This doesn't look like it's designed to fly, does it? It's like a old retro-looking rocket. I just realised that isn't going to fly. I was waiting to find out how you were going to make it have thrust. If I have the... Well, firstly, if I have the bottom open, then how does the battery stay in place? And how do I do some really nice lights on the bottom for, you know, take off? Might fly if you charge the wrong batteries, yeah. Have the disc open to the width of the battery. Have the disc open. Right, but it still won't slide because the width of the battery is wider then the width of the battery here, cross-section, is wider than the openings for the two pieces. So even if I open them up, I'd have to open these up much further, right, to slide the battery in. What's stopping the battery from falling out? And I want the PCB side to be the side that's hidden. I want it to look like that, where the PCB's at the back. So, because that's where the electronics stuff's going to be. So having the battery, I don't know how the battery would stay in there. I don't think it's a problem having to pull it apart to change the battery. I mean, you go buy a remote control car and the batteries run out and you got to go and get a screwdriver and pull it apart to change the batteries. Like, I don't understand what the big deal is of having to. It's not 50 pieces, right? Yeah, like it should be as easy as pulling. If my design works, it should be as easy as pulling one panel off, one slice off, taking the battery out, putting a new battery in, putting the slice back in. So, yeah, I don't want to use 3 AAAs. Pierce the bottom of the battery. How will the lights work? What do you mean, how will they work? Okay, well, I'm getting to that, but everyone's caught up on the batteries, on the battery. So, well, there's no battery holders. It's going to be, I mean, there is, not that I've found, there's no such thing as a battery holder that wraps around a PCB on each end. It's going to be, I don't know how firm that's going to be. I don't think it's going to hold the battery well. Again, having something where the battery isn't secured and can fall out if it gets knocked or whatever isn't really something that appeals to me either. Anyway, folks, let's move on from the battery because, you know, other than putting a different type of battery than this particular battery, I'm pretty set on this is how I'm going to do it, at least for now. So we're going to move on. So what I need to do is basically do all of these. I need to cut out all of these pieces, at least, yeah, for now. So, wish I knew what the keyboard shortcut for combine was. Okay, target. Actually, maybe I can target them all at once. Hang on. We'll try this, see if I can cut them all at once. Combine. Target. No, can only do one at a time. Well, that sucks. Okay. And again. Isn't there a key in Fusion that says repeat the last thing? I'm sure there's a repeat last. Anyone know what that is? You can't get the ring around the battery out if you only move one slice. Right, but I might have an opening on the ring. That's the thing, possibly. I don't know, I need to put it together. Like, I need to... Like, there's other things I need to work out, like how I'm going to lock them and some other stuff, but... let me just cut all these out first. Because there's more work to be done other than just that. I'm sure there's a repeat last. Repeat. There's a repeat here, but I'm sure there's a thing for it. Keyboard shortcut. No, it's a Fusion thing. Well, it's a both. It could be comma. Maybe. I'll try it. I'll try comma on the next one. Is it comma? No. Full stop? No. Damn. It's one of them. crazy idea, Sion, have no battery, work an inductive pickup loop. Well, I thought of having no battery and just having USB power, and that would solve it all, right? But I can think of plenty of situations where it's up on the shelf and you can't get a cable to it. Right click. Yeah, I know I can right click and do it. I'm sure that there was a keyboard shortcut for it. I'm positive there was a keyboard shortcut for it. I just can't remember what it was. Okay, lucky last. Oops. Okay, so they're the... Oh, that didn't work. What happened then? Combine. One, 2, 3. Why is it not letting me cut? Not letting me cut that one. Oh, it's not selected. Oh, weird. Okay. I should really save this. Save, save, save. You're all power obsessed. I think it's just a question for maybe another time right now. So yeah, I haven't had, clearly my gaps weren't exactly 3 millimeters, but that's okay. So how do the lights work? I'm glad you asked. I will show you. You extruded down rather than up, so nothing. No, it was, I just hadn't selected it. That's all. It wasn't selected. So I'm going to, hang on, a appearance. I want a, ooh, glass. Smooth glass. Clear glass. Might not be visible though. Maybe grey glass. Window glass, just for now. So these will be transparent acrylic. Just get them all on. And where's that other one? That's also... okay. In case you're interested, this is what I've been doing during the stream. Okay, I'll have to look later. Sorry, Mark. Make lights work. I will. I'll show you how they work. I'll show you. I'm getting there. Okay, so that's the rocket. Now, on the PCB, so let's go to the PCB version. Let's turn all these off. Except for one. Not that one. Which one? We'll do the big one. Okay, so let's look at the PCB. So, the way it's going to work is, I'm going to save. Always save. I'm going to create a sketch on the PCB. So, most of the electronics are going to go on the fin over here. Right? And then there's going to be, I need a rectangle, and it's going to be, I think they are, they say they're 3 by 3, but they're actually not. They're, I think, 3.2 by 3.2. And move this in place. It's going to be wherever it is, doesn't really matter. just call this PCB electronics. Okay, so that's an RGB LED, believe it or not. Okay, that's an RGB LED, and which one was it? That one. So the idea is that this face here is extruded back a little bit like that, and then there is a LED that sits there and it side lights the acrylic, so it edge lights it. So it'll light up and you'll get edge lighting around the outside and through all the edges of the disc. Does that make sense? I hope so. So basically, should have used one that was on the correct. Damn, silly Sion. I should have used a different faced one. But if I take that, so there'll be one there, there'll be one over there a bit. There'll be one over here. So every, hello, try that again. Oh, come on. Create copy. There'll be one over here. Right, all the way around. It's gone through, hasn't it? Yeah. I should have done a different face as the PCB. Anyway. Does that make sense? So every ring will have a light. Will the light travel through the cut circle or just reflect? It'll edge light it. Let me get some acrylic. Won't be a moment. Actually, I just realised I have some acrylic right in front of me. I could use. I have made some more plates for my next test jig. So if I just peel this off, I'm going to have to find some RGB LEDs now. So satisfying doing this. Hey Marius. Okay. So, here's some acrylic, clear acrylic. You can almost not even see it. And if I get some, I think this should have my RGB cycling on it. No, did I reflash it? That's annoying. Oh, I know what I can use. Oh, here is a feather rest tube. Blum, blum, blum. What? Why is no RGB working today? Oh, I don't know how to flash that one. I just need one board with cycling RGB LED would be nice. Oh, every single one of my boards is... This isn't annoying at all. I'll have a board here that'll have RGB cycle somewhere. Each one of these boards have got different code on them. Some have got Wi-Fi test code. Wow, I'm not having any luck. Surely this one's got cycling RGB on it. Oops, it's not USB-C. Oh, there we go. We got one. So, as soon as you put that on it, it edge lights. See that? I need to turn the lights down. So obviously it really depends on the angle, right? So, but if it's a circle, it's going to spread around much better. You can see that the holes in the middle are lighting up better than the straight edges are. If that makes sense? So straight edges don't do very well, but the curves do. And obviously this is pretty massive. These don't light up, unfortunately. So yeah, you'll be able to see an outside edge. And where's that other piece I brought in? Right, here's another edge. You can see here. Just peel this off. But I can also spray them like I did with my Wi-Fi clock. The edges, and frost them. Because the frosted edges will show up even more. You see that? So, yeah. The curves work better. Did we all lose the stream? What? Is it working okay? I mean, it's all quiet here. Okay, cool, it's fine. So anyway, that's how it's going to work. That's the idea of the edges. So that's why I want to go black PCB, black acrylic, I think. Not white, because I don't think that the acrylic will light up nicely against the white. But it might, like, I don't know. I can try different things. But anyway, yeah, that's how they're going to light up. The rings. And doing different patterns. Poor television. Okay, so only one side needs to have that. I'm just going to get rid of that LED that I made, because I'm going to switch which board is the PCB board. Okay, because I really want a board that's on a normal plane. So I look at the front, this one is on the plane, so I'm going to change it and be, this one's going to be the PCB one. Just easier to build on that plane. That'll be slice 3, and that'll be slice 2. Plane rocket. So even if the cuts intersect, it'll still transmit. Yeah, it will. It does. That's what acrylic does. Now, frosting the edges of them. I wonder if I have a frosted one. Hang on. Do I have any old? Maybe. Oh, I do. My last one. My last one. So this is what, if it's frosted, it looks like this. It's just a pain in the backside to frost. Let me take the plastic off. Not the plastic, the paper. Frosted looks way better. But it's time consuming to do because I have to spray paint them. So that's what the frosting look like. It makes it work even better. So, you know, I have that as an option as well. But I think it'd look really cool. I'm positive it's going to look really cool. So do you etch the edge for the frosting? No, I spray paint it with frosting. With frosting spray paint. It's a real pain. So for my Wi-Fi clocks, for these segments that I used to... So these are the segments that used to go into my Wi-Fi, RGB Wi-Fi clock. I used to laser cut hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these. Like, I don't know, probably did about 2,000 of them. And had to lay them all down on card and actually spray them with spray paint. It was a full-on process. It was an absolute... I mean, the end result looked fantastic, but it was way too much labour. And so, no, you can't sandpaper them. It's 10 times quicker to spray paint them than it is to sandpaper them. And you can't get consistency with sanding them. Yeah. And you get issues on the corners and the edges and stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah, you can get... There are places you can go and they'll do it for you, but it's horrifically expensive. Horrific. Yeah, no. I tried all the different options for doing it, and at the end of the day, spray painting with frosting spray paint was by far the quickest and cheapest way to do it. So, yeah. I don't know if you already answered it. Was way back, but are the three main parts, the big parts, going to just be PCBs or acrylic? One is a PCB and two of them are acrylic. So I should go and recolor these. So in this example, that's a PCB, and come on, those two are acrylic. I just made the PCB green for now, but it'll be black. A frosty laser. Is that even a thing? That'd be awesome. No, it doesn't fly. Will you add sound? I could add sound. I don't know if people are going to want rocket sounds coming off on their shelf. I don't know. It's supposed to be just like a night light, a glowing night light. Would you add a blinky pink LED on the top? No, it's not a Christmas tree. Sorry. Okay, so we can go back to here now. I can... I'm going to save. So Fusion crashes a lot for me. Like, a lot. Okay, so let's go back and do the electronics. So... Yeah, basically... We'll try that again. So I'm going to use the... Actually, they're 3.5, aren't they? So 3535. So I'm going to use the 3535 RGB LEDs, which are... Keep jumping back and forward, sorry. Which are these ones. The ones I use in my Neo 7 segment. These ones here, that size. Because they're too big. And the acrylic is 3mm, so it would sit over the LED like that, where pretty much the whole LED face is sitting inside the acrylic. If that makes sense. 3D printed cloud. Ooh, hey Ian. I can definitely make it expandable, like people can put stuff on it if they want to. They look like eyeballs. What looks like eyeballs? So LED. There'll be one there, and then there'll be one. There-ish. And there'll be one. God, I keep zooming in the wrong direction. There. Oops, I missed one. Or did I not copy and paste it? Oh, I didn't copy and paste it. Try that again. Sometimes Fusion is just really frustrating. Anyway. Your heating's gone off. My heating is on, thankfully. So my concern now is that I'm going to do all this. I can't get to my laser cutter right now because of the garage. It is piled on with stuff. My concern is I'm going to do all this and then I'm going to not abandon it. I'm going to, what's the word? Like I need, like the renovation is the most important thing I could be doing right now, even not building stock. I'm out of feather S2s again, and for those of my patrons here know that I ran out twice already since the weekend. Well, I'm out again. Yeah. So now I was thinking that I don't know if I want to put one on around the battery. I'm definitely going to have one here because I want this to be the... And I might do a custom acrylic piece here instead of a disc. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. Very centered. Can you add phases? Wait, what's scary? Oh, you don't go to the shit at night. You don't have a spider problem there, do you? I don't think you do. Bottom disc for the flames. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. So this bottom one could be doing fire, flamey thing, where the other ones could be flashing something else. They're just addressable, so I can kind of do what I want with them. Maybe I'll stick one here for now, next to the battery. Okay, so it'd be something like that. Oh, I hate how Fusion does that. Anyway. Extrude 1.2. This could be a lot of little shapes. I'll worry about that later. I'll clean all this up later. But they'll be on the PCB like this. And the idea is they'll be behind. So you won't see the point lights. You'll just see the disc. Alright. So if there's a USB connector, it'll be on here, on the side here. There'll be a, you know, the Tiny 85 or Tiny whatever I put will be over here. There'll be an on-off button. There'll be, I guess, a reset button or something. I don't know about sound. Yeah, I'm not convinced about sound right now on it. Maybe I can leave a spot for a plus or a minus, like for sound, if someone wants to put one on there. We need it controlled by the Whopper. Well, then it needs to have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and that's, yeah. It's going to be quite a hard... So the idea is this to be a kit. So I'm going to have to make very large pads for the LEDs so people can hand solder them. And okay, so that's the other thing. I mean, so Julian, you've nailed the reason I want to have a battery on it, because I reckon kids will go like run around like Flynn would run around the house with this thing lit up, going, and you can only do that if there's a battery in it. Can't do it if there's a cable hanging out of it. So yeah, yeah. I've got to rename all these. I know, whatever. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. If that makes sense. I don't know whether I'll extrude them or whether I'll actually cut a little divot out. I might cut a divot out of the disc. So I'm hoping that with all of these, the way they slide in, and with enough of these discs, that they'll all hold in place. You know what I mean? That there'll be enough friction holding it all together. Divot would hinder assembly. Yeah, possibly. It might need to be a divot that, or you know, sticks out and then comes. Yeah, probably will. Yep, good point. Good point, Wayne. I don't know, I just think that looks really cool. I'm not sure about the black, though. But what other colours? I mean, PCB colours are a problem. I mean, white or black, blue, red. Red could look cool. Red rocket could look really cool with red acrylic. Yeah, you can't get silver PCBs. And you can't really get silver acrylic edge. What does edge mean? I mean, the acrylic pieces can be transparent. Like, you know, they can be this type of... That was a little bit dusty. You know, it could be this type of thing. I'm just not sure if that would lend itself to the lights or not. Red mask and Enig art. Hey Tony. The new pick and place does look great. It'll look even better when it's here. But yes. Black and white like a V2. Well, I don't want to do... I'm not looking at doing art on the PCB because I can't match that on the acrylic. So I want it to be a single. So I want it to be a single flat color. Like I want the back of the PCB to be whatever the color the acrylic is. But the clear acrylic will then show the non-clear PCB, and it'll make it stand out too much, I think. So you'll always have a solid piece, and I think they all three need to be opaque, I think. Thanks, Akurish. LEDs at the edge rather than towards the center allows digit and slot. Yeah, quite possible. Yeah, I need to play around with the PCB layout. I don't want them too close to the edge because then it needs to be assembled still. But let's just pick one there. Like, yeah, it could be that one here. You know, maybe there they could be. So the biggest problem is going to be that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 RGB LEDs. That's a lot of milliamps. Star zooming planets with the same cutouts in the acrylic bits. Yeah, I don't know if this should be a PCB art project. I don't think so. I think any detail I put in the acrylic and on the PCB is going to detract from the lighting of it. I'm really thinking something simple, or, you know, if I do anything at all, maybe some of this circle type cutout things, I don't know. I don't think it should be, yeah. I'm not convinced on cutting stuff out yet of the shape. $4.99 for a tin rocket, a Tintin rocket. What? Where's a Tintin? Do serial LEDs use more power than RGB ones? They technically use less, but they are much harder to control. Like I've only got a few pins, like Charlie plexing. I wouldn't have enough pins to Charlie plex normal RGB LEDs, non-addressable. So it's a binary clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, not quite. Don't you need 10? No, I don't need them all on at once. But even when they're off, I mean, it's not a lot, but even when they're off, they all draw 1 milliamp each. So, you know, you've got 9 milliamps just sitting there with them all off, but with power on, but showing no color. And I thought about sticking an LED driver on there and driving just individual RGB LEDs, but I'm not convinced that's the right way to go either. Yes, 1 milliamp went off. All of these addressable RGB LEDs, even the APAs, take, 1 milliamp when it's off. It is a lot. It is a lot, yes. So, yeah. Something to keep in mind. I don't know how long these batteries would last for. You know, you might only get turn it on, put it on the shelf, you might only get a day out of it. Who knows? Which is why there has to be a USB connector on it. And which is why I might just end up with no battery at all. Now the question's going to be whether I can maybe redesign the bottom so the battery gets inserted from the bottom and can easily come out again. So maybe this bottom disc doesn't work this way. Maybe it connects up. Anyway, that's a game changer because of the battery. Yeah. Yep. $90 USB connector. Why 90°? Why wouldn't you just have a USB connector that's sitting here, pointing, that comes out, the cable comes out the bottom here? I think that's the way to go. I can't use a FET to turn the LEDs off. They're addressable LEDs. How does when I send a signal to it to say go red or go black, how does the FET know to go on or off per LED? I'd need 9 FETs. And I'd have to have some, I mean, the data stream, yeah, no. FETs won't work. I mean, there's a whole on and a whole off thing, you know. And obviously I can stick an LDR or an ALS ambient light sensor on here and only make the RGB LEDs come on when it's dark, so they won't get wasted during the day when it's light. Poker pins at the base station, rocket sits on with a rechargeable battery. Right, so that's something that we discussed 2 years ago, that it could be sitting on a base and it could be, and it could work that way, absolutely. Going to use one of the tiny chips. So it was originally going to be an 80 tiny, 85, which I've got a stack of, but it might be one a different one. They're pretty low power, and they have a huge voltage range. When the kid picks it up, it switches on. So I could put a FET on there, and the battery only, that's right, the battery only works when you lift it up. And when you plug it in, it runs off the base plate. But again, then there has to be a cable for it. Which, look, it's not unreasonable to have a cable, but it's much easier to, like, then this kind of has to go on a desk as opposed to maybe a shelf. Might as well use a Z80. Wow. Yeah, I started working on this in 2018. And as I said before, I've had my other rockets, I've had my first prototypes sitting in my office for 2 years. And I keep seeing them thinking, I need to get back onto that. Well, I am now. Yeah, this is not a real rocket though. I kind of dig the pogo pin idea. Yeah. Well, it probably won't be a pogo specific. Maybe. I don't know. Designing a base though then is going to be a problem, and then the base, you'd have to put it in one way. Actually they weren't dusty, no, because I kept picking them up and looking at them and putting them down and moving them around. No. I've never dusted them, but no, they're pretty good. So yeah, the orientation would have to be perfect. Like you'd have to put it back in keyed the right way, otherwise because the PCB bit has to be in the part where the charge comes from. Hey, Alan. And that's going to make it a much more complex thing. But yeah, absolutely, maybe it can work that way. And if that's the case, then it doesn't need a super big battery. It just needs... It's still an issue of... Oh, yeah. I don't know. It'd make it a much harder thing to... Like, because the idea was supposed to be a kit. So, does the base come as a kit? Well, yeah, you'd have to key it, Andy Mouse, to make sure that can only be plugged in one way. But kids kind of brute force things, don't they? Yeah, the idea was that it comes in pieces, and you solder the PCB together, and then you assemble it. It was going to be a kit, an electronics kit that happens to just be a rocket. I mean, whether I sell them pre-assembled or not, it's a different story, but the idea was that it would be a fun kit to build. It'd be no different than a badge, right? Like a badge kit. But, you know, there'd be like 5 components on there. That's it. Maybe a connector like I put on my 2019 badge so people can reprogram it if they want to. Yeah, I mean, I could do edge. I could do kind of like fingers. Actually, I don't think I can do fingers on this. PCB edge fingers on this because of its shape. There'd need to be a pad on each side, a plus and a minus on each side of the PCB. On this section here is probably what it would... Oh. It's going to need like a pad here, positive, and a pad on the other side for negative. So when it slots in and there's just 2 pogos or something, it could be these type of things. Right, these little SMD pogos. I don't know if you can get singles. And I don't know if slotting a PCB into that would, if those 2 next to each other, if that would let it slot, or whether it would, I guess it could just be a single on one side. When you slot it in, it rotates it into place, maybe. So it could be like a bit of a rotation in, which pushes them against each other. If it's 2 pads, you wouldn't need a key. No, if it was 2 pads, there would be 3 ways to slot it in. That's the problem. So there'd be, look from the top, there'd be that way, and there'd be that way, and there'd be, like, you know what I mean? Like, there are 3 ways you can slot it, and if you slot it where the acrylic goes where the PCB is supposed to go, it won't charge it. So it still have to be keyed in such a way that only the PCB edge could go into that somehow. I don't know. Oh, sorry. Oh, so like it could be like this, but it could also be that way of it, and then, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like 120 degrees each way would be the same thing, but only the PCB one would charge it. No 2 padded, 1 ring outer to the fins and raised center to connect. If you only had 2 active fins and 2 active, what do you mean 2 active fins? Only 1 fin can be chargeable because it's a PCB. The other 2 are just acrylic. They won't do anything. So if they put an acrylic fin in the charge section, nothing will happen. Yeah, we spoke, like a couple of years ago, we spoke about the idea of having it connect from the bottom into a pad, right? It could be like an audio jack sticking up that it plugs into, and then it wouldn't matter. But again, it becomes, it turns into a really complex build of designing a base to do all that. Oh, all 3 slots could be charge points. Ooh. Right, well that makes it even more complex again. I mean, complex in terms of building a base, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Have 3 PCBs on the rocket? Sure. It'll be a very expensive kit if each edge was a PCB. If each slice was a PCB. Shelve it for a while. Ha ha ha. Really? I don't want to shelve it. I want to build a version of it. It's too cool not to build a version of it. It would depend on how I did the contact in the base. I'd go USB-C to charge it. Cables are fine. I've not gone Elon Musk at all. It still hasn't taken off. No, it hasn't yet. Leaf swing battery contacts should be cheap and easy in the base. How? Like, okay, so you got a base with 3 fins. How do I connect them? Where do I put them? How are they connected to the circuitry on the bottom that has the charge circuitry and USB connector and blah, 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 blah? Like, who's putting the base together? Does that come as a kit? Does that come as something pre-assembled? Am I going to spend hours putting every base together? Are they going to have to be hand-soldered wires from little... You know what I mean? Like, so... I don't know... Okay. I'm going to switch cameras for this one. I apologize in advance. I don't mean to be rude in anything I say right now, okay? But everyone's throwing ideas out, which are great, but no one's thinking about manufacturability, repeatability, and how they would ship and how they'd be assembled, right? Sure, there's probably 100 different ways this can be solved. Now remove every single one of them that makes no business sense or no manufacturable sense. I'm not building a one-off. I want to build a kit that people can buy that they can assemble for themselves or for their kids, right? So, yeah, putting the leaf spring battery connectors, yeah, 3 of them on a base on each fin. Who's going to do that work? Who's going to design them, right? Like having to solder little wires everywhere to get it all together onto the thing? Not manufacturable. Exposed copper, 3 pad areas, 120. So 3 PCBs? How do I build a base that's got PCBs like this? Shaq, again, like, manufacturing is my problem. Right, but that's why I'm discarding your ideas, just so we know. Magnet cable. I'm not sure what I mean, you can get magnet connectors. They're really expensive. You're limited on how many connectors. But again, I don't know how that would work. Well, 3mm jack does sound easy, except I can't put one in the middle because I can't mount the receptacle for it in the middle of the rocket because it's got to be attached to a PCB. How do I do that? It's going to be on the PCB, which means it's going to be off-center. It's going to be on the PCB. Like, do you understand? Like, there's no other end of an audio connector that hangs off the edge of a PCB. Right? So it's not the easiest. It's probably one of the most difficult, near impossible to do. No, it could be a 2-sided PCB. Tail fins should slot into a PCB base. Sure. So how does a PCB base work? How does it slot into a PCB base? What does it slot into? Are the PCBs vertical? One on each side. So there's 2 PCBs in the base and it slots in between them. Right? Then we have the same problem again of what's if they slot it in the wrong way? Or am I doing 6 PCB bases? Because 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. So 6 PCBs in a base? The cable does charge, the cable does it all. Right, you mean just a cable that just attaches to the side of the thing. But then why don't I just use a USB? Why does it need... Then all the charging can be on the device. I can just put a USB thing on the rocket like I was originally going to do and you just plug it in. Right? A vertical PCB mount. Vertical PCB mount 3mm jack. How would I attach it? Where would it attach to, James? The PCB sideways. And it's got to plug in from the bottom. So it has to be a horizontal and it has to be dead center of the rocket. So again, I don't mean to be rude. But it's yeah. You like the USB-C suggestion. USB-C's got nothing to do with it. USB-C, micro B, whatever. It's just you're talking about plugging a USB in of whatever description, right? Could also be a DC barrel jack. There's no reason it has to be USB. It could be just a 5-volt source coming in via a barrel jack, which would be even easier than USB, right? Sure, Aaron. Okay, cool. USB works really well, and then you could have people make their own base with USB plug. Sure. I do what, Fred? Jill's a coil. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but that's why I don't mean to be dismissive on ideas, but yeah, there's a bigger picture here. Yeah, you add 10% complexity, and it's not 10% complexity. It's 200% complexity because it makes it impossible to manufacture, or it becomes cost prohibitive to manufacture, or it becomes time prohibitive to manufacture, or it becomes too hard to assemble. As long as it lights up and cools your beer. I can't guarantee about lighting up, but it'll definitely cool your beer, for sure. Empty coffee. A base PCB doubles the PCBs. Well, it more than doubles the PCBs because, again, unless it only orients one way, it needs lots of PCBs because there has to be a PCB on every fin. I actually don't like beer. Yeah, I'm with Julian. I'm not a beer fan. Never have been. I'll drink it if I have to. How about you just go with the base with single connector or no base? The type of people who will buy this will be able to figure out the orientation or be able to plug in the cable. Yeah, absolutely, they will. They will. And if that's the case, there's no base required, right? So if it's going to be as simple as plug it in, well, then I can just stick, a USB connector on there or a DC barrel jack on there or something. How many amps battery drain are you expecting? I don't know yet, Paul. It really depends visually on what it's going to be doing. Each LED can take up to 60 milliamps if it's white. So it'll be a matter of coding up as nice a visual display as possible while keeping it as low powered as possible. But again, I want to make it so people can reflash it if they want to, and I can't control what code they put on it. PC. Yeah, but I can't make an edge connector on the rocket. Like, you need a straight edge. I don't have a straight edge on the rocket anywhere. Like, I couldn't do PC, or any of them. PCIe or M.2 or whatever. Like, they're all... The shape is totally prohibitive of that. Like, there'd have to be a square edge here to be able to do that, which I think would look terrible. Yeah, no, having a base doesn't exclude the rocket from lighting up the way it does right now. The PCB thickness is 2mm. Because I can't get acrylic, 1.6mm thickness acrylic. And I want it all to match. So 2mm is pretty much standard. So the PCB will be 2mm. The disc light could represent the battery level. Yeah, or there could be a button. You push a button and it shows you the battery level. Guinness is terrible. Yeah, I can't do stout. Just put a small piece of copper braid on each side of the fins and use a base PCB. Copper braid on every fin, but 2 of the fins are acrylic. How would you attach the copper braid? And that would look... Sorry, Chris, but that would look pretty ugly. I mean, my opinion. Yeah. I mean, right now, the only solution I can really think of for a base that is keyed correctly... Yeah, inductive's not going to work. I don't have enough space on this to put a coil of any decent size that's going to actually charge that way. Why bother with addressable? The issue here isn't addressable or not. Whatever I put on here... Okay, so I don't use addressable. I use non-addressable RGB LEDs. Then I have to stick 1 or 2 LED drivers on here. Either a big-ass LED driver, which are expensive, that someone's going to have to, like, hand solder fine pitch, you know, like what they had to do with the Whopper, which not everyone was happy about. And one of these on the Whopper is not enough to light them all up. Plus, I don't really have the space for it on the PCB. The issue here isn't about the addressable. But they're not 20 milliamp. It depends on what's being lit. Depends what's happening at the time. mean, if you take it in a... Okay, so does anyone know, if you take a non-addressable RGB LED, right? I can't do key charging. I can't do any type of inductive charging. I've got no space for a coil. If you take a non-addressable RGB LED and you turn on all LEDs to make white, how much current is it going to pull? The base look good. Some housing. That's a non-addressable RGB LED. Julian, yeah? Is that what you're saying? Right. Now, how much does an addressable RGB LED pull when it's at white? Anyone? I'm talking about full brightness white. Full brightness white. Right. So why aren't I using... Why would I go down the road of not using addressable RGB LEDs? They're pretty much the same, except 9 LEDs, so people are going to have to solder on 18 resistors, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why the addressable RGB LEDs are the issue here. Less PCB work. What's less PCB work? It's much less to put addressable RGB LEDs on, and much easier to control them, because you're just controlling them from the micro, and there are stacks of libraries out there for them. So, you know, you can control how much power you want to pull out of addressable, just like you can do it on non-addressable. Just LEDs, depending on the type, might need a capacitor. 1 or 2 caps on the whole board compared to 18 resistors. Bit of a difference, right? Right, but I still have to put 9 WS2812 chips on there. All I'm doing is reinventing the RGB LED. Why would I, addressable RGB LED, why would I do that? How's that going to help me? It's not more flexibility. It's 3 times as much work, 5 times as much work for the person putting the kit together. Once again, what do you save? Sure, RGBW I could save on white, absolutely, but I'm not saying they're going to be lit up white. I'm just saying that as a comparison, white for RGB addressable, RGB non-addressable, you know what I mean? So I could use candles. I could use candles. Not sure you want to stick that on your bookshelf with combustible stuff around. Two other chips, they draw quiescent current. Sure, but so do LED drivers. They also draw quiescent current. They all do, right? It's maximum 80 milliamp. But you don't have all 4 channels on at once, Johnny. You turn RGB on to get white, but if you're going to do white, you just turn white on, and it's only 20 milliamps. So, yes, if you turn on RGB and W, it's 80, but why would you ever do that? Unless you want over bright white. Just lob a sparkler up its back end. We could do that. Yeah, addressable LEDs are definitely the right part for this project. A light tube up the center. Yeah, but then I can't control each level of RGB. If it's just one light tube, then it's just one. Or you're talking about a light tube up the center with an LED in each one? Yeah, nah. That's not going to light the rings. I want to light the rings. We just need a battery solution. No, we just need, well, so here's the thing. We have a battery solution. We've got several battery solutions. I want to be mindful of the fact that the batteries have to be accessible. They have to be reasonably priced. And if they're going to be rechargeable, then they need to be safe if people put the wrong battery type in. So the nice thing about these batteries is you cannot fit any other battery in that. This is the only that I know of that I've found online. This is the only battery of this shape that I've found. So there's no accidentally sticking the wrong battery in. Okay, that's one. Two, there are lots of options for a base or for charging. Doesn't have to be a base. DC jack, USB connector of varying types, right? Yeah, CR2032 stacked won't work. Not enough milliamp hours on them. Can't hold them all together. Messy, expensive. Yeah. And then if it's going to be a base, we've discussed lots of options for a base. It all comes down to picking the right thing that's easy to assemble, reasonably priced, easy to manufacture, and yeah, like they're the things I'm trying to consider. So I've seen, I don't know where I've seen it. I'm going to draw something. I'm going to switch cameras. So, let me start off with this. So, if that's the edge of a PCB, right? Like what I think it was Paul was talking about before, was you can get the battery things that you sell. They're like metal, and they stick out like that, right? And you solder them on, and it's a battery thing. So battery would normally go this way. Now, I've seen somewhere, I'm sure, maybe Alibaba in my travels, I've seen like these little things, but instead of pogos, I've seen where the PCB is like this, right? And there is a bit of plastic that solders on, whatever it is, and that's got one of those on it. Oh, my drawing is terrible today. It's got like that. So instead of it sitting flush on the PCB, right, it's kind of like side mounted. Now, and it's a bit of metal that sticks out. If I can find them, then I can put 1 and 2 next to each other, back to back, here, and the PCB can just slot in. And the key is it has to happen on a flat board. And if it happens on a flat board, then I could have a base PCB, right, that has not slots in it. I'm just drawing where they'd be. There were the slots for the fins, and there could be one of these things here, right? If they just solder on, like SMD solder on, then I could do this, right, like that. And it doesn't matter which direction you do it. And it's a single PCB that slots into a 3D printed base, right? And then you can just slot the rocket in, doesn't matter which way. Or if I could find a way of keying it, I could get rid of these ones, and the way it fits together will always be on that direction, right? Why not use the inside and outside edge? I am talking about using the inside and the outside edge of the fin to be the contact. The fin slots in here. So if the inside and outside edge of the fin is the contacts, it needs something on the base to touch it. Right? It needs some type of spring loaded. It's got to be spring loaded. It's got to be something, this shape that it slots into. Has to be. It can't be something like this as a pogo, because when they slot it in, it's not going to slot into it. It's going to push down on it. They're going to eventually break the pins. I don't know if I'd trust something like this. Right, magnet connectors are horrifically expensive. Go look them up. They're really limited in what you can get. Yeah, Frogo pins won't work. They're too big, too tall. And then, yeah, very hard to assemble. Again, need to draw it for me. Okay, why not use a barrel jack? Like, I don't know what the Tony box does. But I'm not sure where the barrel jack, how the barrel jack comes into it. So you'd have the barrel jack on the rocket facing down. So barrel jack here facing down, and then the actual connector stuck in the base, sticking up. Sure. That's one way of doing it. But if that's the case, well, I guess it doesn't really need a base. But the problem is barrel jacks are big and take up a lot of space. But look, it's possible. I've got a good durability tester in house. I'm good. Well, it's not secure because how does the connector, unless they're going to super glue it into the base, the actual connect, like the jack, not the jack, for the power source itself, yeah, might not be that secure. I don't know. No idea what the battery's thinking of. What about one of these? They seem simple. What happened there? Sure. Yeah, like I need to source where they come from. The problem with that is, though, is they stick out on the bottom. Well, I need them the other way round because they have to hold a 3mm board. So there's no way I could get a 3mm board in between these two. I could get them close enough to each other, right? And if I turn them around to get them close enough, the bit that's sticking out is the wrong direction. Keystone 590 PCB leaf spring. Okay, let's find out what that is. Let's move this off for the moment. Catch you later, Dave. That's it. That's it. Thank you. I knew I'd found them somewhere. That's exactly, Rob found it. I knew I'd seen them somewhere. So Rob's talking about these. That's what I was talking about. I had the wrong way around. I had it facing up. So I just need one of these on each side. Perfect. Okay. I knew it. That's what I was trying to draw. I just had them upside down. Okay. So those go on the base. On a PCB, a battery will fall out with heavy-handed kids. Now, the battery won't fall out the way I've got it right now, but the way I've got it right now means you have to disassemble the whole thing to get the battery out. So okay, so a base with that, whether it's on 3 sides or just one side, and a FET on the PCB that says if there's power coming from the base, then don't use the battery. And oh, no, that won't work. Oh, maybe. Okay. So the So the charge circuitry has to be on the PCB. To do this, the charge circuitry has to be on the rocket. That's the problem. So we're talking about a tiny 85 on the rocket. We're talking about, or whatever it is, charge IC, FET, and all the accessories, an RGB LED. You have inspired me to use an old washing up liquid bottle, some LEDs, and cardboard for the fins. Cool. Sounds good. Catch you later, Fred. You need to be careful about them shorting. Possibility to have both in the same side next to each other. Yeah, the problem with next to each other is... Yeah, okay, yeah, they could be next to each other. How big are they? Is there any specs? They look quite big. Anyway, that's fine. No, I'm not calculating the bomb in my head. I'm trying to work out... I just didn't want all that... So basically, the base then just becomes a holder to provide power, right? So it's a shame that I can't do the charge circuitry in the base. I'd need... I'd have to use like 3 connectors if I was going to do that, not 2. And there's not enough space. Rob, I can't have them next to each other because there's not enough space on the fin to do 2 next to each other. It's going to have to be 1 on each side. Yeah, shorting's going to be maybe a problem. Well, then if they're 2 millimeters apart, yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem with shorting. Why can't you charge circuit in the base? Because the charge circuit, because it's also got to power the device, not just charge, it's got to power the device when it's plugged in. So when it's plugged in, the rocket's running off power, not off battery. And when it's not plugged in, it's running off battery. So you can't charge. I can't use the source I'm charging. I can't use my charge source as my power for the Tiny 85. So I can't do that, Jet Gyrotech. There has to be charge on the rocket, or there has to be 3 pads on the bottom. The dimensions on the bottom radius of the fin is... the radius is 2.5 millimeters. It's not very big. This is not a big rocket. It's got to fit on a shelf. I mean, it's still quite big, but it's... Yeah. So not enough space. There would have to be on each side, pads on each side. I think it's reasonable that when you want to pick up the rocket, you hold the base to pick the rocket out. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a problem. It depends on how weighted the base is. Get a bigger shelf, yeah. Keep thinking. I think keep it simple. I can definitely make it run off the CR123 and have that disable when it's on charge and forget about charging, right? That's definitely possible. That's the easiest solution. No charging circuitry, just a FET on the rocket, and if it detects power coming in from the base, it disengages the battery. Run a small wire down each edge. No, that's how would someone assemble that? It's acrylic. How would they attach it to the acrylic? What, sticky tape? Blue tack? Yeah, that's. Sorry, no offense, Chris, but that's a pretty gnarly solution. Gnarly as in ugly. Yeah, well, the plan was always battery plus externally powered if you wanted to. The question is whether it's chargeable or not. I wasn't planning on doing chargeable, and everyone's been screaming, charge, charge, charge. Yeah, glue's a terrible kit thing. Hey, here's a kit, but you need to glue all this stuff to it. Yeah. I'd prefer a no glue required solution. No hacky gluing wires to edges, and if you don't get it right, it doesn't charge properly. Yeah. Sorry, no offense, but it's not what I'm looking for the kit. I need something much simpler, 100% foolproof, easy to do. Yeah, I'm probably going to skip the recharge for now. Because the thing is, if I skip the recharge and all of that stuff, then people don't have to put a battery in if they don't want to. They can just run it off the base, and it's nice and simple. And if they don't run it off the base, if they want to be able to pick it up and have it light up, they can buy a battery for it. They still have to pull it apart to get the battery in. That's the problem. Okay, AA batteries these days. Right, but a NiCad AA battery doesn't have enough juice, so I'd have to put 3 NiCad batteries in. And 3 NiCad batteries, how do I hold them all together in there? And blah, 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 blah. And they still have to pull it apart to switch them, or to get them in. And what if someone sticks a non-rechargeable battery in? Boom. And all that stuff, like we discussed before. It'd be totally different if I could ship it with a battery, right? If I could ship it with the required rechargeable battery, then this is all, it doesn't matter, because they put the battery in when they assemble it, and it's done. But I can't ship batteries. So it's going to require people go out and buy the right battery. And you know what? I could stick on the instructions in big red writing, you can only use this battery. If you put another battery in, it may blow up. And you know what? And some people just aren't going to read it. If I've learned anything, it's that people don't read. I don't mean charging in the rocket though. Oh, right, but then they have to pull the rocket apart to get the batteries in, and then when they want to recharge it, they've got to pull the rocket apart to get the batteries out. I don't know how durable the system would be to be pulled apart all the time like that. And I still might have to find a way of locking those discs, I'm not sure. I think you grossly underestimate people. Underestimate them how, Jet Gyrotech? I just need one person to do one stupid thing on one of my kits and have themselves or a child get hurt. And yeah. So I think maybe you are underestimating people, Jet Gyrotech. No, I don't need to forget the whole idea. I just need to not worry about charging. If I don't make it chargeable, it's never going to be a problem, right? I'm not forgetting the whole idea, right? But I'm being very clear on what my concerns are, right? And yeah. And I'm sorry, but there are people out there that don't read or don't do the right thing or accidentally make mistakes. You know what I mean? So it was the community that were pushing for rechargeable batteries, not me. Just to be clear, I wasn't looking for a solution for that. We'd already had this conversation back in 2018. Pretty sure I've voiced some of these concerns back then as well. But I'm way more adamant now because I've seen people do some really weird stuff with my products I sell right now, right? Keep in mind too that children may do everything to... Yeah, like it could be not through stupidity, it could just be through accident. Like, how many people accidentally put batteries in back to front? Right? Like, it's not intentional. Like, even if they know the right way to put them in, sometimes, I do it myself. Pull a battery out, I'll go, yep, positive goes on this end, and then I'll go and get the new battery, and I'll go and grab it, and I think I'm holding the right way, and I'll put it in, and I'll put it in upside down, right? It happens. So it's not about people are dumb. It's about if what it is can potentially be dangerous through a mistake, that's a problem. So, I don't want it to be dangerous. I'm not talking about, that was just an example. It's not about the reverse current. I'm just saying people make mistakes, and mistakes can be dangerous. Right? Put a charged circuitry on a battery that's not chargeable, and that can be dangerous. Right? It's as simple as that. Like, I just don't want that on my conscience at all. I don't want to put a product out there that someone could even accidentally have that happen with. It's simple as that. I'd rather not have that functionality there, even if it seems like the product is deficient because it's missing. Right, they put the warning on it because someone already did that, and even with the warning, people still do it. So, yeah. Kids are probably smarter than most adults. Possibly, yeah. Okay, so the next steps for me... Wow, I've been going for 2.5 hours. Holy moly. Okay, the next step for me, I'm going to... when I can access my laser cutter again... it's buried under somewhere. Have you seen Roby's manuals? 99.9% warnings. Really? No, I haven't, but no, that's crazy. What you have in mind for powering with either USB power base or 1 battery. So the idea is that when it's plugged into a base or plugged into a cable, whatever it is, then it runs off the power of the base and the battery is disconnected. If the battery's there. And if it's unplugged from the base, it runs off battery. Assuming that the on switch is on. There's an off switch and then nothing happens, right? But if it's switched on, if it's plugged into a base, it runs off battery, off base, and if it's not plugged into the base, it runs off battery. And if the battery runs out, the battery runs out, right? That's the summary. Warning on a shirt, don't iron while wearing. Right, but that's if you're talking about if the USB is going to be on the rocket. If it's on the base, it doesn't really matter. But it can be USB-C, or it could just be a barrel jack on the base for a wall wart, right? McDonald's coffee cups, warning content is hot. Yeah, I hope it would be. Whopper could, yeah. Could trigger global thermonuclear war. That's really funny. Okay, so I'm going to laser cut these pieces. I've got everything I need here to just mock it up, see if it holds together, stick a battery in it, see how it's weighted, see if it falls apart. Maybe next week on my stream, if I get it done by then, I don't know, we can assemble it and have a look and see how well it holds together. In the meantime, I'm going to, when I say in the meantime, not between next stream, in the meantime, meaning sometime before the end of the world, I'm going to design the PCB, at least the basics. Please have a look at this. What am I having a look at? I've got hot coffee from McDonald's before, burnt my mouth, burnt my tongue. Totally wasn't expecting it. Yeah. They can definitely do hot stuff. Food? Not really. But, yeah. So when all this is going to happen, I don't know. Because as I said, my priority now is renovations. So, yeah. But I definitely want to build a version of this. I want to have at least one in my office, right? How do I copy a Dropbox link here? I'll temporarily make you a mod. Okay, you can copy the Dropbox link. What is it though that you're linking? Let people know what it is first, please. A movie, a picture, or something. Yeah, it better not be. Okay. God, again, my Dropbox is going nuts. It's getting really annoying. No, can't see your link. Okay, then YouTube's blocking it. I don't know why. Are you on my Discord? Paste it on my Discord. Yeah, you need to be a mod to paste links. But again, Chris, 3mm self-adhesive copper foil tape's not going to help me. And it's not what I want for the kit. Sorry. Email, please. What's it a picture of you sending? Is it relevant to what we're talking about now, Shaq? If not, just send it to my Discord so people there can see it. Does your laser give you the accuracy for the parts to fit properly? Yes, it does. Yep. The only issue is that when you buy 3mm thick acrylic, sometimes it's 3mm, sometimes it's 3.05. A base PCB. Okay, I don't know why you can't paste it. Do it a different way other than Dropbox. I don't know. I don't know why YouTube's blocking Dropbox. Yeah, and sometimes it's 2.95, so there's a bit of tolerance there, right? And that's going to be one of the issues, the thickness of the acrylic. Yeah, Shaq, just join my Discord and just post it on there, because then people can chat about it. But I need to wind this up, folks. I need to go to Bunnings and buy a whole lot of stuff and continue my reno. Yay! You don't get it or you don't like it? I mean, you must get it. It's just a chat servers, right? But Bunnings is outside. What? Am I not allowed to go outside? I can go outside. We can go outside. And my Bunnings is within 5 kilometers, so we're good. I'm good. And I've got my Power Pass. Power Pass. So what channel in the Discord is used for this rocket? That's a really good question. I will make a rocket. I mean, ooh. So actually, Bruce posted in Discord. Hang on. Here's my Discord. Bruce posted these. How do they mount? Right. Yeah, okay. They mount vertically, so they're on the side. Yeah, okay. So that was more the shape that I was drawing, right? They're the ones I've seen. I think on Alibaba or somewhere. Right? Remember I drew a box with the tab sticking out? So that's those. So that's what I was originally thinking of. And they look much smaller. And they're surface mount. Okay, I'll look at those. In 500s, they're only $1 each for the 2 connectors. Ouch. Shaq just pasted on Discord. Okay, let me just go here. Well, if it's just a picture, you can just post the picture on Discord. You don't have to, Copper. Yeah, that won't work. Firstly, there's no copper on the acrylic. Has that appeared yet? So as a base like this, I mean, that won't work because there's no copper on the bottom. And there's no electronics on the acrylic. And how would we put copper there? Yeah, no, that's not a solution. And and there's not going to be enough contact. That won't charge. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's the solution. Sorry. Okay, so I think I need to wrap this up. Thank you all for your input. I'm sorry if I came across at all as dismissive. I didn't mean to be dismissive or rude. I didn't mean to be. My problem is it's really easy to go down the rabbit hole of making really complex, fancy solutions and then me having to waste my time making them, right? Just for the sake of having it done. And I do that all the time, right? I mean, I can't even count on all my... I don't have enough fingers to count how many times I've said things like, I need to stop making such complex projects because they're really hard to make and time consuming, and it's great that people get to enjoy them, but they're not worth my while, my time and financials to do it. What? What's Johnny saying what for? I don't understand what. Okay, I don't know what the what's about. Okay, I am going to wrap this up. I need to keep renovating. I need to go buy some wheels for the Charm High. Yay. And, yeah, I'll keep you posted on how everything's going. Thanks all for joining. It is a wrap. Ooh, now I'm hungry. Ooh, yum. Chicken and avocado wrap for breakfast. Or bacon and egg wrap for breakfast. Yes. Don't do it. It's a Johnny link. Oh, I didn't see. He posted a link. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Never. I never click on Johnny's links, ever. And I know someone that did last week after the stream, even though I said in the stream don't click on them, and he did, and he got rickrolled. So don't do it. Yeah, the trade price at Bunnings isn't so good, but whatever. Yeah, I'll get everything I need. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Johnny, for the 50 sec. And I hope you have a fantastic week. Everyone,